Like, what were the first runs down hardline track for you?
I hated it big time. Like I hadn't. I've been lent actually a downhill bike by Bernard for it. Hadn't ridden a downhill bike for a few months. It happens quite late in the year. I think Lenza Hyde World Cup was the last time I rode downhill, and I just had my head in the banking world basically, thinking the season was over. Then got invited to that, and I just remember walking the track and I couldn't believe my eyes. It's a bit like the same with the Rampage, but it's like this time I actually have to do it. And again, everything is bigger than it looks on telly. But yes, it is a race, but it was such like a group vibe with it. Like everyone was there to help each other. And every race I've been to before, like, I went to World Champs as a junior, and it's like everyone's always out to get each other. You know, you're all racing, you all want to do well.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're at a race where everyone just wants to get through it together. So they're all talking about like the speed for this or the line for that, and it's such like a group mentality to it. It was so cool, and that made it way easier for me.
Like a team sport rather than an individual sport for a weekend. That's a trip. Yeah, that's cool.
And just brush off the rust and go and do it with help from all the other riders. It was like amazing.
So what I've heard from people who, certain like Sam Reynolds when he went, what he said was like, the big jumps are one thing, but it's this stuff in between that's not even almost celebrated that is like mind-blowingly gnarly. Was that the same for you?
Yeah. Like you can, like the big road gap in the middle, you know, the wooden one, is monstrous and really stressed me out before I did it. Just because the consequence, like I always worry about consequences and things and overthink stuff, and it's like if you case it, your bike will snap. If you overshoot it, your bike will snap. If you get it right, how am I going to make it around that corner at the bottom?
Yeah.
But actually, we'd all do that jump, and like 90% of the riding population would do that road gap, because it's just, that's the speed, you land it, and the corner's actually the hardest part of it at that speed.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, it's the other stuff that you, as a viewer, you're focusing on the features, and the commentators do as well, but it's like the rock gardens that are just covered in grease, but you're going into them so fast, and that's actually the scary bits, you know, and bits like that, and that's what makes it such a standout event, I think, because even when you're racing it, you're really focusing on the big features, because that's what in your mind is like maybe the scary part, and you're trying to tick them off almost as you're doing a run.
Yeah.
Forgetting that actually on a normal, even World Cup track, there's sections that would be the hardest part of the track that you kind of put into the back of your head and not even caring about. So it is cool.
And I often think it
for riders as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like Rampage.
Yeah, good mixture, wasn't it? Must add to it. I often think that when you speak to someone, certainly someone who's not, you know, an intermediate rider, let's say, they always hold jumps in such high regard, and when you tell them like a jump for me, I'm like so safe and happy that I'm on a jump. I'm away from the roots. I'm away from a rock. I'm away from a tree.
Yeah.
Like the jump is like the most comfortable, calming part. Your arms relax.
Yeah.
You have a bit of time to think. You're in complete control. And then as soon as you get onto the bits that they don't even think about, where you're breaking into a turn and there's like 14 diagonal routes, they don't even think that's gnarly, and that's like the exact bit, particularly for me, that I find mega gnarly.
Yeah, looking back, it was the same when you race it. Like, you know, the split second you leave a lip, you know that you're landing into the landing right or wrong, don't you? And it was those pauses in the air when you're like, okay, that's another one done. It was so nice, apart from when I tried to flip it. It wasn't meant to happen like that.
Really?
That's an insane clip, dude. I can't believe your banking friends aren't impressed with that.
I know. That was second time hitting that jump ever. And the story was, so Brendan flipped it the year before. He actually came to London to see me, and we had a few drinks. I remember we had a £100 bet. He'd flip it before me or something, or I wouldn't flip it at that event. Yeah. And we all hit the jump, and I literally sprinted up the hill. And Brendan's like, "What are you doing?" And he knew. I was like, "I'm going to flip it." He's like, "You've only hit it once." I'm going to flip it. And he rushed down the hill to film me, just because I think he accepted, like, fair play trying it. And that's why in the clip you'll see that he stood on the landing with his camera.
Yeah.
As I come in and just sit on my tyre and stare at the sky. And the rest is history.
But like looking at that video, you wouldn't think that you're good at flipping, and you're really good at flipping.
That is crazy.
Isn't it?
That is a big flip, though, bro. Would that have been the biggest one you've done, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been. But it's a weird jump. You can't see it. You have to turn last minute, really last minute, and then I think I was still turning in the belly of the jump. And on a big full sus bike, if you're not square, like everything goes a bit funny. And I just sat on my tyre, which killed the rotation altogether. If you watch it in slow-mo, like I just sort of just point at the sky and then nothing happens. And it's unreal how quick your body and brain thinks in that scenario. Like with any crash, it's like, I'm not getting round. What am I going to do? It's like I can't land on my head. So I just threw my body to not land on my head. But obviously I was clipped in and the scorpion.
Yeah, what amazing computer the brain is.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's also, there's a lot of probably muscle memory in there too, that you've done that a few times. The average Joe doing that wouldn't have got off. They'd have held on for dear life and just took it to the back or face or whatever.
Way more serious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, yeah.
But anyway, and then the next time I went up, like after getting a massage for about 4 hours because I was so messed up, the wind was behind us. And I came in like, well, I'm not going to flip it. I'll just straight air it because what was I thinking anyway? And I literally missed the whole landing and got even more injured.
That was a horrible crash, wasn't it? Yeah.
God. So not only did you not flip it, did it cost you £100 as well?
Oh yeah, don't bring that up actually.
Oh, okay.
Delete that bit. Delete that bit.
Beep.